Welcome, everyone. Your presence here today honors Sally and is deeply appreciated. Many of you have sent messages letting us know that you've been doing many repetitions of the Mrityunjaya mantra and prayers and meditations and contemplations, offering Sally your prayers and your blessings right now. And the field of blessings that you've created must be enormous. And I know that Sally would be deeply appreciative of all of your efforts and your heart in this, and delighted also to picture, I believe, the blessings that you're offering coming back on and blessing you as well. My name is Lolita Franklin. Like many of you here, I'm a friend of Sally's. I met her in the ashram 45 years ago, and I'm emceeing here today on Sally's invitation. The week before she left this world, I visited with Sally and we spoke about memorials. And she said that she hadn't previously thought much about her own memorial, but that in speaking recently with a friend, the friend suggested to her that it would be important to have a memorial, especially for her students, to offer a context for everyone to support each other through this time. And so as a result, she agreed that this memorial should take place, and here we are. So while we've come together to remember Sally and to offer our love and our blessings and our well-wishing to her on her final journey, Sally from her side brought us together as an expression of her wish for our well-being, ongoing mutual support, and continued spiritual unfoldment. We'll begin, as Sally often did, with a brief meditation. This one is one she led in Mount Madonna in 2018. So we'll be listening now to Sally's own words, leading us into meditation together.
Bring our hands together in Anjali Mudra. And I'd like to just take a moment to bow to the primordial ground known as goddess in the tantric world. There's a saying that, and this is a quote from Abhinavagupta, he said, who's one of the great polymathic practitioners of yoga. He's a 10th century master who knew everything there was to know about spiritual life in that time and is still very relevant to us today. And he said, the state of enlightenment, the state of truth, is the experience of the great Lord pervading everywhere. But there is a state beyond that, which is the unsurpassable ground known as goddess, into which the Lord himself cannot penetrate. So this is a naked recognition of the universe and its power as feminine power, which goes along with also the recognition that that feminine power is not feminine in the gendered sense, but feminine in the sense, and this is really important, the fundamental understanding of Shakti, of the divine feminine, as the source of everything. It is the recognition that everything comes out from inside. In, of course, the way a child comes out of the womb. The recognition of the process of giving birth as a process of growing something within you and then letting it explode out into an apparently separate manifestation is the fundamental analogy that the sages seem to have found in the process of creation of the physical and subtle universes. Let's bring our hands into Anjali Mudra. Thank you for being with me through all that. Close your eyes. And in your place, bow from the waist with your hands held in prayer position next to your heart. Bow to the mystery. Namaste. That mystery is in us. So we're bowing to each other as well. And if you feel like turning to the person next to you and bowing to that person with the recognition that they are filled with the mystery. And then bow your head to yourself. And you can, when you're ready, or you don't have to, open your eyes. We'll chant the opening mantras 9 times. We'll do one round call and response, and then I think you guys know it well enough so we can all chant together. Om. Aim. Rim. Klim. Chamundaye Viche Swaha. Om Aim Rim Klim 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 Chamundaye Viche Swaha. One more time. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche Swaha.
Next, we'll be watching a slideshow of Sally's life with music from the Grateful Dead song Ripple playing in the background. The one specific request that Sally had for her memorial was to play this song, which she said that she loves very much. And every time she listens to it, she described how moved she was by the words, particularly when it came to the last words, "If I knew the way, I would take you home." In a video interview with Sally that probably many of you have seen on the internet, Sally described an experience that she had when listening to this song as a young woman. Abbreviating her comment slightly here, she said, "Suddenly my awareness opened and I realized that there was nothing but love, and all the complexities and the suffering and the pain I was concerned with just dissolved. And all I could see was love. And I knew that this was reality." It seems to me that Sally's entire life was an expression of her efforts to fulfill that insight in those words. If I knew the way, I would take you home. To find the way to experience and share and lead all of us who wanted to go with her, also to this home, which is ours too, to this knowledge and experience of that vast, all-encompassing, ever-present love which suffuses and is all things. Because the path Sally taught was a path of non-dual devotion. For me personally, she was and is a complete inspiration, not only because of her extraordinary discipline and dedication to finding and sharing the truth, but even more so because just sitting in her presence and increasingly over time evoked for me, and I know for many of you here, the states of being that she cultivated and sought to share, that she's describing, experiencing in that video. Many of us are blessed to have known others, for example, great gurus from the East, whose presence had this powerful effect of opening these beautiful spiritual states for us. What was different about Sally for me is that she started out as one of us, so to speak. Through practice, she cultivated this extraordinary ability to experience and share blessings. And it was so inspirational to see that. In that way, she was an ongoing proof of the power of this path that all of us gathering to celebrate here today are also walking on. Through her, I saw that spiritual practice is an act of generosity, because it's what allows us to bring each other home to the state of being that Sally described, and more than described, demonstrated through her presence. So let's enjoy watching Sally and listening to the song that she loved and that expressed so much for her.
If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on the harp unstrung, would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near as it were your own? It's a hand-me-down. The thoughts are broken. Perhaps they're better left unsung. I don't know. Don't really care. Let there be songs to fill the air. Ripple in still water, when there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow, reach out your hand. If your cup be empty, if your cup is full, may it be again, let it be known. There is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. There is a road, no simple highway between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. Ripple in still water, when there is no pebble tossed, no wind to blow, you choose to lead, must follow. But if you fall alone. If you should stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. La da da da, la da da da, la da da, la da, la da da da, la da da da, la da da da, la da da da.
And now we'll hear sharings from some of Sally's students and friends. The first to share will be Brahmani Bost, who knew and in fact roomed with Sally in her very earliest days in the ashram and attended many retreats with Sally over the last 20 years as well. Welcome, Brahmani.
I first met Sally when she came to meet our guru, Baba Muktananda, in 1974. Sally immediately recognized him as her guru, and in our many years with Baba in his various ashrams, we were often roommates. I have shared close to 50 years of friendship with Sally, and I have been remembering how so many times over those years we have been there for each other. I valued her friendship immensely, but until recently, I never realized how much she valued my friendship or fully understood how much she believed in me. Of her many gifts, I believe her greatest gift may have been her ability to enable others to manifest the extraordinary in themselves, not only on the spiritual plane, but on the physical plane as well. For the 50 years that I have known her, I have always known her to be fully committed to her meditation practice. I believe her primary goal was for her students to value meditation as much as she did. For me personally, as her student for the past 20 years, she was constantly insisting that I maintain a consistent meditation practice because she knew how much I struggled with that. And she was constantly reminding me that whatever I thought of doing in my life, I could most certainly do. I will be eternally grateful for having her as a friend and teacher, for teaching me to nurture the goddess in my life, and for making the teachings of my tradition so deep and alive. Thank you, Sally. Thank you for your friendship. And thank you for your wisdom.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Brahmani. Thank you all for being here. My name is Andrea Boni. I'm from Rome, Italy. And I think I met Sally in 1982 for the first time when I was visiting India and my guru school. And I remember that several years after, when I came to know that she had stepped back from being a Swami and had started to teach around the globe, I decided that I wanted her to be teaching in Rome as well. So, and actually in Italy as well. So I asked her to come. And that was back in 2009, if I remember properly. And since then, we started to co-teach in several retreats. When Tara Judel texted me to tell me that Sally had passed on July 10th, I remember I was on a street waiting for some friends to go out for dinner. And right on that street, I had an incredible experience that I would like to share with you guys. Because I think when great souls like Sally leave this body, leave this earth, they always bestow a gift to us. And I think that experience I had was Sally's gift for me. So I would like to urge you guys to think about what is the gift that Sally has left behind for you. because there must be one for each one of us. So as I was walking down the street, I started to feel literally a blanket of silence falling over me. And that silence was not the same silence I had experienced in the past, not even in meditation. It was thick, it was sweet, it was very, very loving. It was presence. It was filled with respect for our humanity. And it was like as if she was showing me that that was the state she was in at that very time. So my feeling was that at that very time, she was gifting me with her own state. And I have to say that this little miracle has been with me throughout these days. And every time I close my eyes to go into meditation, this state comes up again and leads me into deep meditation. So many times, Sally and I talked about meditation, and we shared our own experiences together. And in every conversation, I would jump in and tell her how I felt that the body was the container of the experience. I felt that by entering the depth of the subtle body, we could actually experience the fullness, and the mind would become quiet. And she always listened and always smiled. And then at a certain point in the conversation, she would grab my arms and she would say, "Yes, that's true, but go to the great heart, go to the great heart." And I really believe that in that experience of deep silence, she was showing me what she meant for great heart. That was the great heart. And she was showing me that at that very time. So now Pernilla will talk to us and share her experience. Thank you, Pernilla.
Wow, so many great things everybody said, and I'm so in awe of being here with everyone. I met Sally 20 years ago at City Yoga on Fairfax Boulevard in LA. I was new in recovery, and I was really a complete mess. And she taught meditation workshops at this place, and I remember meeting her for the first time, and that I'd never met anybody like her. Her presence and her radiating sense of love was something that I just had never met before. And from that day onward, I always wanted to be around her. And I would be like a shy little child, like I would wait for her to sort of get a minute of a conversation, or I became like kind of like a puppy, like a nervous puppy around her. And in 2006, we had a year-long retreat called the Transformative Journey. And in that retreat, on the first one, we were in Joshua Tree in January. And I arrived, I never meditated for more than 30 seconds. And so I arrived there and we meditated for a long period of time every day. And I was so uncomfortable. It felt like somebody was like rubbing me with sandpaper. And I just was kind of a mess. But after a few days, I felt a little bit drunk, like a little slap happy. And I was walking towards the dining area in this moon landscape that is Joshua Tree. And I had this felt sense that Sally used to say, like this experience of love throughout my whole body. And in that moment, I realized that the purpose of this life was love. And in that moment, of course, Sally came walking towards me, And I called out to her and I was like, Sally, it's all about love. And she goes, yes, sweetie. Yeah, it's all about love. So since then, I've been to many, many retreats and many, many teleconferences. I've been on many teleconferences, and she's been my teacher, my friend, but also she showed me unconditional love. And she taught me unconditional love, that I could feel it within myself and that I could give it to her. And she became the mother that I never had. And she wasn't just a human mother. She was the mother that many of us felt. She gave us the things that we didn't receive. And she taught me through meditation that we can find this nurturing, loving space within ourselves, that beyond our thoughts and beyond our mind is a layer or an energy that is love, the great heart, as Andrea said, or as in the song, it's a place of home. And she taught us that through meditation, we can find that home within ourselves. Sally, for me, she was the portal of consciousness. She was the guide. My life before Sally was a mind filled with anger and resentment and, just so much crap going day in and day out. And then I met Sally, and everything from that day onward changed, where now meditation is my life. Sally showed me the way. Sally showed me the way. And I'm forever, I'm getting all choked up, but without her, I'd be nothing. So she is everything to me, and she will remain everything to me. I just want to end with this quote that there's a compilation of Hanuman Chalisas that they made in honor of Ram Dass. And there he says about his guru, Neem Karoli Baba, he says, I don't miss you. I carry you in my heart. And that is what's been going in my head for the last few weeks. I carry Sally in my heart. She carried us all in her heart all the time. So we will now carry her in our hearts. Thank you so much. Scott, you're the next one.
Thank you, Pranilla. Let's just take a moment and just take a deep breath. I'm going to take one. You can take one if you like. Just let go on the exhale. There's a lot of energy moving. Thank you all for being here. I met Sally 28 years ago, give or take, in the Siddha Yoga ashram when she was Swami Durgananda, and I was scared of her. She carried a very regal presence, a very protected presence. And then there was a very small group of us, young people at the time, that the guru asked to be in an intensive, and Sally led the meditation portion of it. And this is where the next coin in my life went in the slot. The first coin was when I received my first mantra in Shaktipat. The second coin was when Sally, through her own deep embodied practice, opened meditation for me. I still remember walking into that thickly carpeted room. It was just her sitting in her chair. Nobody had arrived yet. And it was literally like walking into the most profoundly energized temple space, like a meditation intensive exponentially. And I was able to meditate after that. What Sally did for many of us and for me was to take these profoundly powerful, charming concepts of yoga and enlightenment and transformation and mantra practice and coax our mind, my mind, into the direct experience over and over and over again and show the easy way in. Sally, for me, emanates so much of the clear importance of discipline and practice. Over countless hours of phone calls, working with her, preparing her talks for her teleclasses, she gave me the gift of discipline. real deep discipline through practice. That the only way that we could teach or share in our own lives was by embodying the practices. And one of the simplest things she gave over and over and over and over again about all the key teachings for us and to me is encapsulated in this. I'll never forget this from my years in the ashram when she said in that meditation intensive program for the young people, the mantra, the letters of the mantra are just the clothing that the mantra is wearing. The true mantra is the pulsation of Shakti. Touch, go past the clothing and touch that pulsation. Know her directly. Years later, when Sally moved out into California, where I live, the next coin went in the slot. She introduced me to the most important relationship in my life, the goddess, as a real living presence. It went beyond pictures on the wall or pictures on my altar to this pulsation that continues to blow my mind and open me. And I know you day after day after day after day. And then devotion. Devotion was the key and is the key for Sally. I think the last thing I want to say before I move us into the next practice that we get to do with Sally, with the goddess, is that in the same way that she teaches us that the mantra letters and words are not the true mantra, that the true mantra is the Shakti, the true Sally, the true Durgananda, as I met her, is here shining in all of its effulgence, all of its splendor. For so many of us I've been hearing from around the world since Sally passed, having these experiences of this pulsation showing up in meditation, in a dream, and so on. I think the real invitation for us is to keep going. I know she wants us to keep going all the way into dwelling in that big, 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 big heart. So Sally's going to take us through freshly connecting to the field of consciousness known as Durga. She who removes difficulties for her devotees. She who removes difficulties for her devotees who show up with love and bestows fearlessness and confidence and grounded power. The goddess is a relationship, and that's really one of the key things that she leaves behind for us, Sally, is that it's a living relationship. When Sally introduced us to the goddess, it went from being an idea I had that I hoped for or that I prayed to, like, wishing something, wishing to Santa Claus or wishing to the Tooth Fairy, into this, oh my goodness, it's right here. It's as close as my own breath. And the more I show up for the relationship, the more I soften and open and trust the love in the relationship, the more this goddess Shakti expands exponentially. So Sally's going to lead us into a beautiful meditation. And it's not a meditation just saved for someday. It's a here and now opening, a deeper opening, an initiatory opening into the relationship, into the embodiment. So if you haven't already, refresh your meditation seat, sit in a way that helps you to feel really good about yourself with a long, relaxed spine. And let's enter meditation once again on Durga Ma with Sally Ma.
We're going to invoke Durga with her mantra, Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Dum is the seed syllable that is Durga's true name, the sound that calls forth her particular Shakti. Namaha means I offer salutations. So this mantra, Om Dum Durgaye Namaha, means I offer salutations to the transformative force of the Durga Shakti, the one who removes all difficulties. Find yourself in a comfortable upright posture. Imagine yourself in a mountain grove. It's summer, and you're high in a mountain meadow in Durga's secret abode. All around you, you see tall, snow-covered peaks, but in the grove the grass is soft and the air is sweet. Know that you've come to ask for Durga's protection, for Durga's strength. You offer your salutations to her, calling on her by reciting 3 times her mantra. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. With your awareness riding the breath, let your attention flow into your heart, allowing the mantra Om Dum Durgaye Namaha, Om Dum Durgaye Namaha to ride the breath into your heart. And within the heart, form an intention, a prayer for Durga to be present with you. You may want to ask for her help in a personal battle or for the protection of humanity. Or perhaps you just want to experience her presence with you. And as the breath flows in with Om Dum Durgaye Namaha and out with Om Dum Durgaye Namaha, you ask the goddess to be with you. And now you experience in your imagination the form of the goddess shimmering in front of you, forming out of the mountain peaks. She moves towards you, riding on her golden lion, moving through the mountains until she is directly in front of you. Her dark hair streams over her shoulders. She wears a golden crown, a scarlet silk sari, golden necklaces, rings, and bracelets. She's smiling. And as you look at her arms, perhaps you see them with weapons, a bow, a sword or trident, a mace, a discus. Or perhaps you see her 8 arms holding flowers, pink and red lotuses. And surely you see that one of her hands is raised towards you, palm facing you, in the gesture that says, "Fear not." As you gaze at the goddess Durga, as you gaze into her enormous dark eyes, you realize that she's inviting you to open your heart to her. She's inviting you to ask for her protection, to ask for her wisdom, to simply open to the particular form of grace and blessing that she's here to give you. Now imagine that a brilliant red light flows from Durga's heart into yours. It doesn't matter if you visualize the light. It's fine simply to feel it as an energy, as the flow of Durga's strength, her divine strength, the light of her divine courage. And as you draw in Durga's light through the breath, drawing it into your heart, you feel how it fills you with strength and certainty. You feel the red light of Durga's energy, her powerful protective Shakti, flowing through your heart, and with the exhalation, you feel her energy filling your body, even flowing out of your body into the world around you. Feel now that you draw the goddess herself in through the breath and into your heart. Her form coalesces in the center of your heart, radiating strength and purpose, tender love, fierce compassion. You're filled with the beauty and power of the Durga Shakti. Her energy ripples through your body, filling you with strength and courage. And allow yourself to feel that the Shakti of the goddess Durga taking form as a soft red radiance spreads through your body and surrounds you, flowing out of your heart, wrapping itself around your body, up around your head, down your back, wrapping itself around your feet, forming a cocoon or a ball of energy, a balloon of energy that surrounds your body, that covers and shields you with the protective power of Durga. Her radiance and strength flowing from inside your heart shields you with the goddess's radiant power of protection. She is your shield, your strength. Allow yourself to meditate with the awareness of the goddess Durga resting in your heart, sending her rays of protection through every pore of your body, surrounding you with divine strength.
My name is Swarupa. I met Sally in 1984. Sally met me in 1990. In 1984, I was one of hundreds of people sitting in a dark, blue-lit meditation hall in Sri Muktananda Ashram in upstate New York. And Sally was the Swami who gave the teaching in Siddha Yoga Shaktipat intensives on meditation or on the Guru. Her instructions were so succinct, just like we just heard, so present and alive in the moment. I knew that I found an ally in meditation. Her teachings were precise, compassionate, and perfect for the Western mind. In 1990, when Sally met me, I was fortunate enough to have the job of driving Sally to different locations to give meditation workshops. So we would drive to Amherst or Boston or Manhattan. And if you've ever gotten a car with Sally, you know she's not the one you want to drive. So we would go to these places and I would hear her again and again talk about meditation, giving meditation instructions, which as you heard and just experienced, was her forte, her trademark was her dharana. And then we would, after a meditation workshop and after meditating together in practices and listening to her answer questions, we would get in the car to drive back to the ashram. And if you've ever been in a car with me after I've been meditating with Sally, you know you don't want me to drive. Because on more than one occasion, you know, after sort of like right now, this experience of beautiful expansion and fullness, and not particularly being localized behind the wheel, there were times where we almost ended up in Canada. When Sally left the ashram, she really role modeled for us again. And as you look back on her life, as I read about it now, so many transformations, so many evolutions, so many reincarnations of Sally. She really experienced the courage of Durga in making changes in her life where she would just shed her identity and step with fear and doubt, but courage into something new that she didn't know what it was. And that's what she gives us. When she left the ashram, she modeled that this world is divine. This world is as the ashram, that God dwells within us and we can see God in others. Those teachings really came to life, and that this world is a play of consciousness. She began to teach in the courses that, or texts that she studied and loved so much, the Pratyabinyam Hridayam, the Spandakartakas, Vijnana Bhairava, the Shiva Sutras. And as she taught them, she would study with us. You could feel she was going through it with us as she was teaching. It was such a joy to meet her there in that way. And in 2006, many of us took the year-long transformational journey, which, like I said, started in 2006, and I'll let you know when it's over. In 2018, I was in a retreat with Sally, and I turned to her at breakfast and I said, you know, Sally, you're the most important person in my life. And she looked so surprised. And I looked at her so surprised that she was so surprised. And I realized that Sally had no idea of the impact that she had on all of the lives that she touched. Even now, she's modeling for us great timers how to make the final transformation from this world, this evolution. And for a whole generation of younger students and teachers, her wisdom, her access to wisdom has been passed on. And it is your mantle to continue to access and grow and cultivate that wisdom. And I send you blessings for that. For me, she brought the Guru to light in my life. And for that, I will forever be grateful to you, Sally. I love you. And now, Chris.
Thank you, Swarupa. Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Nelson. It is an honor to be here with each of you today. We gather today to celebrate a life lived with depth, wisdom, and a rare compassion that touched everyone fortunate enough to know her. We are here to recognize our beloved teacher and friend, Sally Kempton. It was 20 years ago when I first met Sally at a meditation workshop at my local yoga studio. Right from the beginning, Sally's sharp intellect and profound presence made an indelible impression on me. Throughout the early 2000s and into the 2010s, my desire for enlightenment was unrelenting. I was eager, fervent, and assertive, a seeker with an unwavering passion. Yes, I was an asshole meditator. During this time, Sally was teaching Kashmir Shaivism. With many in this community, we dove deep into the Spandakarikas and the Shiva Sutras, explorations that revealed the profound depth and nuances of this tradition. However, what made a significant impression on me was Sally's incredible love, patience, and care. She not only put up with me, she loved me. Despite the intense dedication of my early years, my focus over the past decade has shifted towards family, work, and active engagement in the world. But Sally's teachings of love and care have stayed with me. The purpose of my spiritual practice transformed. It became less about seeking a distant enlightenment and more about persistent love. Could I love myself as unconditionally and deeply as Sally loved me? Enlightenment for me now is about unswerving love for oneself and others. Our paths crossed again in recent years. Words mattered less. It was her love that shone through. Hearing all of your stories these past 2 weeks, I'm reminded of how Sally's love touched us all. Each one of us shares a unique, intimate connection with her, a testament to her incredible capacities. As Sally has transitioned from her body, her love persists. It continues to ripple through this community, transmitted by each and every one of you. Let us honor Sally by carrying forward this legacy of love. When we love, we keep Sally alive within us. In the end, it is love that endures, love that transforms, and love that enlightens. Thank you, Sally, for teaching us this. And now I would like to introduce Jonathan Suppleman. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chris. I first met Sally, I think, in 1985 when I just started practicing Siddha yoga. And over the years, Sally gave extraordinary talks and wrote wonderful articles. She had an aura about her, and I have to say, I felt a bit in awe. One day after a few years, we were sitting at a table in the Amrit at a retreat. I was a bit nervous, and I was asking her about an experience that I'd had. Sally kindly listened to me and had a way of inquiring that allowed me to go deeper into that experience. And the way she did it was both incisive and affirming. In 2000, I set up a yoga center in London, and we built a program inviting the best international yoga teachers to come and teach workshops and trainings. I really wanted to offer a broader picture of yoga with meditation and philosophy. But the teachers I met, whilst they were knowledgeable, they felt cerebral or theoretical or sometimes even soporific. Now, I'd been a fan of Sally's Heart of Meditation book for years, and when I started trying to teach meditation, this was my go-to book. I'm not sure how long it took the penny to drop, but eventually it did. And I wrote to Sally asking if she'd be interested in coming to London to teach. I couldn't believe my luck that she remembered me and said yes. And over the next, I think, 12 years, right through the pandemic, she would bring her extraordinary teachings to London. And each year it was an honor and pleasure to plan with her the subject matters she would cover. And the knowledge was awesome. And as was the breadth and depth. And the accessible way she delivered it was transformative for the students. And as they say in the yoga world, it was mind-blowing. There was something about the way she would answer questions from students. It's quite hard to explain, but it's like she was tapping into her knowledge, into a knowledge. And her style was captivating. A friend emailed me last night after watching a video of Sally, a talk she gave, and he said, "Amazing soul to have known in our lives." Thank you, Sally. And now I'd like to introduce Tara Judell.
Thank you. These last 13 days, the waves of grief, the pulse and the throng that we've all been feeling, I only know how to ride because of my teacher, my mentor, my friend, counsel, Sally Kempton. I came to meet Sally in her post-ashram years. I like to think of that as the third chapter of her offering. At that point, she endeavored to transmute 30 years of sadhana in the ashram into the world of the householder. And I believe that was her ultimate service. This led me to 20 years by her side, with her path as a slipstream. Like those of you that have met her, whether you met her directly through her programs or through her writing, or through the students, like those that have spoken before me, who transmit her transmission lovingly through their open hearts. She opened the door to an infinite river of thousands of years of wisdom. The hand of grace that led me to the 2 years of study that's been mentioned, the transformational journey from 2006 to 2007 or 2008, unlocked the portal to non-dual tantra in a way that those of you who know her, she made the esoteric and intangible tangible, not just tangible, but every day. In her book, Awakening Shakti, she even refers to the shadow Durga energy as Meryl Streep in Devil Wears Prada, and a modern day prototype for Lakshmi as Beyonce. She brought the discipline of the ashram, the erudition of a bibliophile, razor sharp intellect, shining, luminescent, coquettish quality in her eyes that never aged, not until her last days. But most of all, as has been mentioned, and as we keep living, she brought us all types of love. She became a spiritual doula, a best friend, a confidant, a psychologist, a mother, a lover, a leader. She modeled service in the way she replied to any email, any request to chat, any invitation to teach. And she made a glacial shift in global consciousness when she moved into the real world from the ashram so new generations of people could know all that there was to know if they had the desire to listen and meditate on consciousness. This is practice. She loved to make these teachings, her life passion, live on in us. And I'm realizing these chapters of sacrifice, from the downtown New York writer to the ashram, to out of the ashram in the real world, all to unlock these tantric teachings and make them her own. Chaitanyam Atma, consciousness is self. I'm not a scholar, she would say. Before writing Awakening Shakti, she knew, I believe, the bigger part of her knew that she was endeavoring to use the Kundalini she intimately knew to create a mastery of the direction of energy with not only words, but actions and a delicate, raw, and loving variety of Shakti. I think she spent 9 months and disappeared into her house, into the energies of Saraswati, Lakshmi, Durga, Kali, Parvati, with all their myths and iterations. And the same way that she personalized and decoded the Shiva Sutras so that we could know them, she endeavored to live the myths within her organism. As you heard in the meditation, we all just were led through the ultimate right-handed tantric path. This was her ultimate form of feminism. She was a different person after that. She was charged with doing this. The book wrote itself, and her final chapter as a feminist wasn't to smash the patriarchy. It was for all of us to fall in love with the feminine. Honor the goddess whose energy is love. Awaken from the renunciation. Practice Shiva's enveloping oneness with your fierce and sensuous Shakti. She was a living river of practices and teachings and the desire to embody the teachings. She recommended and supported so many teachers. She laughed when I got kicked out of another transformative journey with another teacher for my mischievous tweets. The same way she describes Muktananda laughing at her after she fell back into the discursive mind after her Shaktipat. She gave me permission to savor the matrika of the word fuck. She taught the Shiva Sutras, the Spandakarikas, the goddesses, the Maha Mantras, Advaita Vedanta. She introduced us to Adyashanti, Jed McKenna, Mark Duskowski, Ken Wilber, and held our hands as we got Shakti slapped by relationships, by other teachers, by the business of yoga, death, any spiritual question we could conjure. And then she'd have a glass of wine with us. Meet a student with a new student with the same respect as an old student. The tantric map makes sense. She unpacked its meetings, that science and physics, all of which she could reference easily, they're only now catching up to. She showed female leadership, non-hierarchy, and to trust the Shakti and follow a new wave of feminine teachers. She loved how the new teachers were modeling a new way. I will live in honor to honor, I will live to honor the Shakti that she's poured into this Chittanu, this consciousness drop. Jai Ma, thank you, Sally. And now Elizabeth Rosa will chant the Mahamrityunjaya mantra.
Thank you, Tara. And Om Namah Shivaya. I want to acknowledge all of you. If there's one lesson that I learned from Sally, also like Chris and Tara and Pernilla, I entered Sally's life during the transformative journey. I brought everything to Sally, everything. And her answer to me with even the most complicated situations was, Elizabeth, grow your heart bigger. So in service to that, I decided to open a Zoom room on the night that she passed and jumped in to hold space for us to chant Mrityunjaya Mantra together, and got through my insecurities to serve and to grow my heart bigger, because that is the lesson, to grow our hearts bigger. And I know there's so many people in this room right now who have very intimate and personal and profound relationships with Sally that are not speaking today. And I know that there is so much for all of us to share and to continue to share. So we'll begin. This will be 27 rounds. That's 3 rounds of 9. And I am encouraging everyone, even if you've never chanted this before, to please sound it out. There's something so powerful about the Mrityunjaya Mantra. It is a Shiva chant. And yeah, so here we go. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshi Amamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshi Amamritat. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshi Amamritat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you so very much, Elizabeth. And thank you, everyone who contributed to this celebration of Sally's life. To the musicians whose music she loved, Heather and Benjy Wertheimer, whose music opened the program, and Wah, whose music we're going to have a chance to hear as we complete today. Thank you to all of the speakers who offered such incredibly beautiful, inspirational, enlightening, uplifting sharings about Sally and her impact on the lives of so many and who she was. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to, a big thank you to Ruthie Hunter, who played the leading role in designing and organizing this memorial. Incredible. Thank you so much, Ruthie. Along with Sally's brother, David Kempton, who is the Wizard of Oz behind so much and has been doing incredible work on behalf of Sally throughout this time, and who himself is a great servant of the divine, of the sacred. Thanks to Deb for her tireless efforts and talents, which also made this memorial possible. And to your daughter, Kate, who helped Deb as well today. I know many people have thanks for you. And thank each of you who came today for bringing your presence, your energy, your love. It feels to me, and I think it's been illustrated by many of the sharings that were offered today, that a time like this, when someone we love and is very important to us passes, is a transition not only for them, but also for us. And the end of one phase of our relationship and the opening of another phase. And I think so many of the sharings illustrated this, including Andrea, when you said, when you shared a gift that you received from Sally in her current form at the moment that you heard the news. It's such a beautiful illustration of that. And when a teacher of ours passes, it's also potentially a start of the next phase of our relationship to their teaching, the next opportunity to even more deeply integrate and receive into our lives, into our hearts and lives, the teachings that we received. And it's going to be beautiful to see how this unfolds over this time ahead. Sally's website will remain up, and her materials and writings will continue to be available to support all of us in our unfoldment, everybody who is benefiting from the teaching and the work that she has done and will continue to be doing in these other forms. Sally said, and as so many of you illustrated in your words just now as well, that her deepest wish when people received her teachings was not that they love her more, but that they love even more fully themselves and each other, and everyone. This expanding of the heart, this expanding of the capacity for love, the expanding of what love even is and how it manifests. So that was her wish, and may it be so. Thanks and deep pranams to Sally, and on her behalf to each of you. And I also wanted to offer a reminder that the Brahmin priests will be conducting a traditional ceremony for Sally, a Mrityunjaya ceremony, actually, at 8 p.m. Pacific tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be a little over 2 hours, between 2 and 2.5 hours, I believe. And everybody is invited to join live. The ceremony will be up on YouTube live. And the link to that, where you can watch it, can be found on Sally's website at sallykempton.com. And I believe that Deb has put it in the chat as well. So everybody who'd like to is very welcome to watch that. And I think it will be available afterwards if it's not possible for you to attend tonight, but you would like to in the future. It'll take a little while for that to go up, but it will be available in the future as well. And this memorial also will be available, and you can look on Sally's same website to find the information of when it's available and where it's available. That will probably be up sometime early next week. So you can let people know who would have loved to come but weren't able to. Thank you all so very much. And now we'll be just remaining in the energy a little bit as we listen to Wa's beautiful chanting that Sally really loved.
Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya. Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. निष्प्रपञ्चाय शान्ताय निरालम्बाय तेजसे Oh